Have you ever had a losing experience that made you feel like throwing up? If not, try losing $100,000 in an hour. Whether in trading or life in general, we've all experienced things that have left a mark on us in some way, for good or for bad. But the ones that tend to truly stick with us are the bad ones. Just like forever parting from a loved one hurts more than the rejoice we feel at the first encounter. Ask any trader or poker player whether their biggest winning day felt as good as their biggest losing day felt bad, and I can guarantee you that agonizing stories about heavy losses will rain all over. And yes, that's 100 grand fully realized loss in 1 hour. No clickbaiting, but more on that in a bit. Let me first tell you what really happens when you lose. But before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe below. Don't get me wrong, everyone will proudly flaunt their big winners in your face if asked, but psychologically, we're so full of ourselves, not you and I of course, but everybody else, that we feel entitled to rewards simply for being who we are.
People would say I'm the super genius of all time.
Because we deserve it.
Let me tell you, the one that matters is me. I'm the only one that matters.
When we lose, however, it's a different story. Our ego quickly convinces us that something is seriously wrong, that we're just unbelievably unlucky, or perhaps even subject to cheating. For we mustn't lose, it's just not fair. Ego is the enemy, and it doesn't take lightly to lose it. At least if you actually want to win. Because more often than you may think, people subconsciously trade to lose in order to punish themselves, because they don't feel worthy of winning. This explains the old saying where, when asked what it takes to win, the answer is to live right. Because when you live right, there is no need for self-punishment. Well, this side note is too deep a subject to expand on for now, but certainly a treat for a future episode. When we do apply ourselves and genuinely play to win, we cringe in pain when our efforts are put to shame by a loss, for we did not deserve that. Losing money can be painful, sometimes very painful, and just like we all have different thresholds of pain, the same principle applies to money. Few people can kiss an iron fist flying to their face and laughingly spit some teeth out without having taken a generous portion of beatings before. Unless you're a seasoned boxer, try taking a blow from Mayweather without being both hospitalized and traumatized. The same goes for your money. Most people I know have a fear bordering to phobia when it comes to both overall risks and losing anything more than petty money. And doing so will make them feel physically sick to their stomachs. To some extent, this is a healthy survival mechanism, as low risk statistically provide for a more stable life. On the other hand, it's a handicap, as they will be less likely to seize advantageous situations where high return possibilities arise. For high rewards always come at a risk. This applies to any area in life. For you will never attract a 10 out of 10 life partner if all you in your life consist of are grey matter. And unless you inherit money, you will likely never be a financially free master of your own time. You need extreme means to reach extremities. In the 16 years that I've busied myself in moving money around for value, I've certainly had my close calls. Still remember my first big loss as if it were yesterday. Throughout my early and mid-teens, my friends and I played ultra low stakes poker. We'd risk somewhere between 20 cents and $1 equivalent per session. Yet, it felt queasy as if having a house on the line. By the time I turned 18, I was a wealthy young man. At least that's how I felt, as the birthday money my grandparents had given me, together with some that I saved up on my own, was yearning to be multiplied into absurdity. For 5,000 hours I'd sweated and toiled in preparation of becoming a professional blackjack player. Now was the time to get that career flying. So I began frequenting a nearby casino. The first 5 sessions went well. I won modestly, but the feeling of just walking in there and getting rewarding for playing cards thrilled me in a way unparalleled to this day. On my 6th visit, however, things went south from the start, and steaming like an old locomotive, I'd soon lost everything to my name. $500. Now, imagine yourself winning or losing fractions of $1 per occasion to all of a sudden losing 500 in a steaming panic. swings 1,000 times higher than you're used to. That's a lot for the body and mind to take in. And the worst part was that I had no one but myself to blame, and I knew it.
I did not sleep one bit that night. Instead, I lay awake, sweating and feeling faint, useless and embarrassed.
If Bill Gates were to have $1 million go missing, I can assure you that he'd either not notice it or care. To the majority of us, however, the same amount would cause some serious harm on our life situations. In the upcoming years, as I built myself a stable bankroll playing poker, losing even 20 times that of the horror night at the casino in one go would evoke few or no emotions within me. For losing money is rarely about the objective amount itself, but rather about the damage it can inflict on your life. If you really can't afford to lose, a few hundred can collapse your entire world. Even if my net worth at any given time has never been a spectacular one, at some point I've taken enough of punches to no longer be afraid of financial risks. Daily hits that would cause most people to lay sleepless in anxiety for weeks. They had become a natural part of my everyday life, and they still are. Note that this doesn't equate to my liking financial risks, for I don't. I'm just not afraid of them. For just because a boxer has toughened up and can take serious blows doesn't mean he enjoys them, especially not severe blows that knock him out. I still shy big losses like the plague, but I play the game and I accept the rules. For sneaking up on you when you least expect it, like a thief in the night, big losses will come and they will hurt, and they do. Always.
It was a sunny and unassuming winter day in London last year. I had made a literal killing on the markets the month before. My record month in 16 years, in fact. That's when it struck me like lightning. My biggest loss ever. I had successfully been trading a crypto derivative for a while. The only problem was that the crypto itself was traded 24/7, whilst the derivative only was accessible during market hours, which on average amounts to only 1/4 of the hours of the week.
It was a slow day and I had not managed many trades due to poor trading volumes. Then, 1 hour before the market was about to close, the crypto tanked, and it tanked big time. I was abruptly awakened from my afternoon doziness and my heart started pumping. Now, here's a chance to make some serious dough, I thought to myself. I laddered in long after long, and I laddered big time. After 55 minutes of non-stop plummeting, a free fall to put it mildly, I was so heavily invested that I eventually had it all on the line. Under sober circumstances, I would calmly declare that waterfalling moves like this almost exclusively are followed by just as vertical a move to the upside. But in the midst of the heat, I started to feel FUD. Fear, uncertainty and doubt. My mind was cluttered with thoughts and chaos, for I didn't know what had caused this plummet. Had perhaps something severe happened that would run the crypto down to nothing? My entire life was on the line and I panicked. So, 1 minute prior to the market closing for the day, I sold it all off, disgusted by what had just happened. For I did not dare to leave my position open overnight. That would render me powerless and out of control in case it would continue to burn. And now, guess what? This is the beautiful part of the story. For 1 minute, 1 bleeding minute after I sold it all on that day's very low and the market had closed, it started its steroid bounce back to the moon. 1 minute ago I had sold it all at a $100,000 loss, my biggest individual loss by a mile. Now I just sat there passively watching the ticker run amok as if there were no tomorrow. As if it was all a big fat joke. I must have been in shock, for funnily enough, all I felt was emptiness. No anger, no wrath, no pain, no sadness. Afterwards, I remember taking a long, lonely walk in the park, being all absorbed by winter coldness and surrealism. But I didn't feel pain. Rather paradoxically, I felt hope. For when life throws you trials like this, you're left with 2 options. Either you kick and scream like a baby and blame God for his wrongdoing, or you learn something, humble yourself and get your priorities straight. Few isolated incidents have left a mark on me as this loss has. Its magnitude has repeatedly forced me to meditate on it, whether I wanted to or not. It's made me realize I've long esteemed money too highly, and once and for all it put my values straight. For despite this being the loss that initiated my 90% decline to follow, I honestly believe it all happened for the greater good to teach me a life lesson. And truth to be told, I'm happier, more at peace and less stressed now when being left with 1/10 of my former means than I was prior to it. It's something I wish upon everybody I hold dear, so that they too can lift their gaze from the ground and start seeing the fuller picture. Now, I'm no Bill Gates, nor will I ever be, nor do I want to. I'm just a lone trader who wants to make it humbly on his own. I've taken many punches in my days, but that $100,000 loss was my Mayweather punch. But one that, rather than knocking me out, ended up teaching me more about myself, life and trading than anything before it. I guess all I can do is to spit my teeth out laughing, hoping that I'm now strong enough to deliver the next blow. That was all for now. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe below. In the next episode I will talk about why only a few % of all traders can be long-term winners.